Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In last video, we have seen some inbuilt functions of set. In this video, we will discuss some more important inbuilt functions of set. So let's start. As we have seen in last video, union function, intersection function, difference function, and symmetric difference function. Now, we will start with update function. So let me first uncomment this line. Okay. Now, as I have given or I have written some code, like if I explain this, I am using update function with the help of dot operator, and I am going to update some new items within my first list. This is S1. So in this way, using update function, we can add more than one elements in one time. In last video, we saw we can use add function with the help of dot operator to add any element, but with the help of add function, we can just add one element at a time. But by using update function, we can update or we can add more than one element at a time. So let me first print this line, print this program. So okay, it is giving me some error. Yes, that's why it's giving error. Okay, now I'm going to S1. So now it will not give me error. Okay, so it gives me, it returned me the S1 set with updated version. That means I got 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 3c minus 6, which this three elements I have added in S1 set. So it is giving me the new, that means the updated set S1. So let me remove the terminal. Now we will go to the next function, that is discard. Let me first okay. So the next function is my actually no. Yes. Okay. So next is discard function. So here I am using the discard function with the help of dot operator, and by the help of this function, I am going to remove. Let me show. I am going to remove two. Actually, let me change this number. Okay, I have given here 6. So in this way, we can also remove an element as we have used previously remove function. Now we can use discard function as well as pop function. So first I'm going to discuss the discard function. Okay, let me print. I need to write here print. Okay, wait. So now I'm going to print the S1 after discarding the element 6. Let's go to the terminal, then new terminal. So we got 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. That means 6 got deleted. What if the element is not present in the C? Okay, if I go to discard elements 7, so what it will give me? Let's see. So it is giving me the set. It is giving me the whole set. So when we use the discard function, if the element is not present in the set, it will return the set, but it will not give us error. But if we use remove function, then it will give us, if we use remove function to remove an element which is not present in the set, then it will give us error. Okay, let me check here. So I am giving here 7, and now I am going to uncoming this line. Okay, this line also. So I'm going to print. So it is giving me error. As we can say, my set remove 7. Here, line number 18 in notebook, it is indicating me that there is a mistake in line number 18 because when we use remove function to eliminate any element which is not present in the list, it will give us error. But instead of using remove, if we use discard, it will not show error. That's why if we use discard instead of remove, it will better. Now let's move to the pop function. So what will do pop function? So let me uncomment this line. Okay. So when we use pop function with the help of dot operator to remove an element present in the set, it will remove any element randomly. That means it is not necessary that it will first remove the first element that is present at the first position and then second, third. No, it will remove any element. If we go and print, then we can check offset object at. Okay, it is giving me some built-in method pop offset object at. It is giving me anything else. So okay, it is giving us something else instead of giving the output because we didn't mention here parentheses. So now let's check. Okay, now so it is giving me the output as 1. That means it is removing the element which is 1. And again, if we use the remove function, then see false. Why it is giving me false? Okay, let me check again. Then false. So let me check what is the problem. Okay, now it is good. So now if I run the program, then we will get the output as 1 and 3. Why? Because I am using here twice the pop function. That means I am using pop function twice. That's why it is giving me first, it is going to remove the element 1 and then it is going to remove, actually I am using again the pop function. So if I use again and again only one time, that means if I, okay, let me comment the same, and now if I execute the program, it will give me again and again 1 only. So to remove, because it is removing one element, element 1, that's why it is giving me 1 and 1 again and again. So if I write the code again, then now if I remove, then it will remove the element 3. If I again use the pop function, then what will happen? So let's see. If we again use the pop function, then it will again remove any random number. So let's check. So now it is removing 5. In this way, pop function works. So let me comment these lines. Now let's move the second part, copy. So then I'm coming these lines. So let's use copy function. So I am going to create a new set called S3, and in this set I'm going to copy the S1 set and it will get stored in the new reference called S3 of type set. So my question is, when I print S3, okay, let me first print S3, then we will discuss later what I want to discuss. So it is giving us the same set which is S1 because we had copied this S1 set. So here I have written it will return a shallow copy. So it is like a shallow copy. We can also get deep copy, but now right now I am just try to make understand what is copy. That means shallow copy. So my concern is about the addresses of the set S1. Let me remove this. My concern is about the address of set S1 and the address of, that means the address of set S1 and the address of set S3. So the addresses of these two sets will be same or different. Let's check. So we can see the addresses of both the sets are different. We can check here. The addresses of both the sets are different. But why? We just copy the set S1, but the addresses are different. We can use another word for copy, cloning. We often heard in movies about cloning. So what is cloning? We know when the DNA of one person, when with the help of DNA, we create the same person or animal, then it will be called as clone. So here we are doing the same thing. That means we are cloning S1 and getting stored in S3. We will discuss about copy, that means about shallow copy and deep copy in our other video. But right now, just know that copy, when we use copy, it will return us a shallow copy, and the addresses of both the, that means the original set and the copied set will be different. Now let me clear the terminal and let's move to the next part, which is subset. Let me first comment these lines. So now we are going to use we are going to check is subset or not. So when we will execute the program, it will give me the output in the form of boolean. So first I would like to say what is subset. Here we can see two sets are, I have created two sets, that means two references. So this is my first set and this is my second set. So what is subset? I have written here S1 dot is subset. I am using here is subset function with the help of dot operator to check whether S1 is subset of S2 or not. So if the elements present in the set S1 are all, that means all the elements present in S1 are present in S2 also, then S1 will be subset of S2. Let me first print this line, print this program, and check what it gives as output. So it will give me false. Why? It is giving me false because S1 is not subset of S2. You can see here 5 is present in set S1, but 5 is not present in set S2. Also, 1 is present in S1, but 1 is not present in S2. That's why it is giving us false. Okay, let me change the elements, then it will work or it will give us true. So if I use here, okay, I am giving here 1 and 5. Any element left? 5, 9, 8, 6, 3, 1. Okay, now if I print or if I execute again, then it will give me true because all the elements present in S1 is also present in set S2. So this is the use of is subset function, or in this way we can use is subset function to find that whether a set is subset of another set or not. Now let's move to the second part. Let me first comment this line. Now I'm going to explain superset. So what is superset? In the same way as we saw that S1 is subset of S2. So in the same manner we will check whether S1 is superset of S2 or not. Superset means the elements present in, actually when I used subset, I can also say that, okay, let me clear the terminal. Now you can see that in the same manner as I have said that S1 is subset of S2, that means all elements of S1 is present in S2. So that's why we can say that S1 is subset of S2. But what if I reverse the condition? That means, if I reverse the statement, I can say that S2 is superset of S1. And why I'm saying this? Because S2 contains all the elements present in S1. Not only this, it is containing other elements also. That means elements which is not common to the set S1. That's why I can say that S2 is superset of S1. So let me change the name here so it will better understand. Now, if I print or if I execute the program, it will give me true. Here we can see it is giving me true. So in this way, we can understand the function, that means the use of superset and subset, and how we can use or how we will get the output. I just explain. Okay, let me comment this line and let's move to the next line. So here is disjoint. So let me first uncomment this line. So what is the function used for is disjoint. So here I am using the is disjoint function with the help of dot operator to find whether the S1 is disjoint to S2 or not. Disjoint means there would be no common element. So let me run the program first. Okay, so we got S false. Why we got false? Well, let me clear the terminal. So as we can see that some elements are common in S1 and S2. That means both the sets containing some elements common. But with disjoint function, that means with is disjoint function, we can check whether the two sets are containing any common element or not. If the both, or if we create 3 sets or 4 sets, we can check whether the elements in all the sets are common or not. If at least one element is also common, that means if any element is common between the sets, then it will give us false. But if there is no common element between all the sets, then it will give us true. And now we can see that some elements which is present in S1, actually we have created a that means we have created S1 is S1 is a subset of S2 and S2 is a superset of S1. That's why it is containing all the elements. If I give here some new elements like okay, I'm going to give -9, -6, then 4. Then let's check the program. It will give us true. Here we can see it is giving us true because no element is common between these two sets. So I hope this is clear. So let me clear the terminal and also let me comment this line. Okay, now I am going to use clear function with the help of dot operator. So let me uncomment these lines. So clear function will clear the set. That means it will make the set empty. Let me run the program. So here we can see that both the sets are empty because I have used clear function to clear both the sets. Here I had used clear function to clear the two sets. So let me clear the terminal. Okay, now I need to also comment these lines. Okay, now I am going to use some other inbuilt functions of set, which is length, maximum, minimum, sum, sorted, all true, any true. We have already use this inbuilt functions in the list as well as in tuple, and these inbuilt functions are same for list, set, tuple, dictionary. That's why I'm again discussing the same inbuilt functions. So I hope when I explain these functions for length and tuple, it will clear your concept. I mean, it cleared your concept. So now I am going to just simply explain in brief. So let me first uncomment these lines. So here I have used length function to get the length of the set. Actually, I am using all these functions for set S1, as I am using for the set S1. So let me write it below. That means here. So now, okay, let me store some, or let me put some other elements like 8, 2, etc. So I'm going to find the length of this set using length function. And also, okay, let me first explain these programs, then I will execute the program. I have already discussed these programs in list and tuple. Okay, so here I am using max function to get the maximum element present in the set, and here I am using line number 59. I am using minimum to get the minimum element present in the set. One thing I need to mention here, that I can use the maximum, minimum and sum and sorted function only when I created a set of numbers. Because if I create a set homogeneous in which I had stored integers, floating numbers, boolean, string, then we cannot use maximum, minimum, sum and sorted function. So we can use these functions here because I have created a set of numbers. So that's why I can use maximum, minimum, sum, all functions. So I have used here some function to get the addition or sum of these numbers. Now I have used a sorted function to sort the set, and I have used here all function to check whether any element present in set 0 or not. If any element, that means any number stored in the set is 0, then it will give us false, and if no number is 0, then it will give us true. And what about any function? So with the help of any function we can find out that whether, or I can say whether at least one element is 0 or not. If at least one element is 0 in the set, then it will give us true. Or if no element is 0, then okay, let me first run the program, then I will discuss all and any function again. Okay, let me run. So here I have executed the program, and we can see that for length, when I use length function, it is giving me the output as 5 because the number of elements is 5 and the maximum is 8. We can see the minimum is -9 and the sum is -1. When we add these numbers, it will give us -1. When I use sorted function, then it is giving me sorted set. When I use all true function, that means all function, it's giving me true because no element in set is 0. And when I used any function, it is again giving me true. Why? Because there is no element is 0. If there is at least, okay, let me enter a 0 here, then it will clear. Now let me again execute the program. So we can see here, any function is checking whether at least one element is 0 or not. If at least one element is 0, in set, then it will give us true. At least one element should be 0 for getting the output as true. But when we use all function, it will give us false when one when one or more element is 0 in the set. That's why it is giving us false for all function and true for any function. So in this way, we can use the inbuilt functions of set. Okay, one function I want to explain. This is last for today. So let me uncomment slide. Okay, after execution of this program, you all will get confused. So let me first run the program. So here I got the output as index 0 is value 0, and index 1 is value 2, index 2 is value 4. So when we use enumerate function, we need to give the syntax in this form, that is for index comma value in enumerate. Then within parentheses, I given the name of the set, then column. Now I'm going to print the index and value. So as we have learned in the previous video that set has no indexing, that means no fixed position, then why we are getting here index and value? So we can see here that index at index 0, the value is 0. But as we have already seen in list and tuple, that the first element, I mean the value, the position of the first element is 0th index. So in this way, if we see that at 0th index there is -9, that means the value is -9, but we are not getting it. So we can understand by this program that set has no indexing. If I, okay, let me execute the program again and let me check whether it is giving me another output or not. No, it will give me the same output again. So we can see when we use enumerate function, as we know that set not follow index, that means the elements present in set has no specific index, so it will give us a random value. That is not correct. So I hope that whatever I explain all is clear. Thank you very much for watching this video, and in next video we will discuss some new point or some new topic. Thank you very much. Stay happy and healthy.